It's been a while, but we're back, and we have a brand new episode of Doctor Who to react to, give our opinions on, and see where it fits. Does it make you excited? Does it make you happy? All that glorious stuff, but only with me. It's up to you guys, what you felt about it, and please let me know in the comments what you did think. But yeah, this was the New Year's Day special of Doctor Who, and when it first got announced, I was like, cool, that will bring something new to the table. I kind of get fed up with the Christmassy theme getting shoehorned into specials. I kind of got fed up with it a bit. It got a tiny bit repetitive. Although I do like quite a few of the Christmas specials. I felt that they were too centered around Christmas. A lot of them anyway. So it's nice to have one that went away from that and decided to do a New Year's thing. And so the first thing you can come from this episode is it wasn't very New Year's at all. Like there were only a few nods to resolutions and stuff like that, and like you start by learning that it's New Year's Day, but really there's nothing to do with it, and that's the best thing. Like often you see in TV shows that have a seasonal episode, it's kind of shoehorned in. It's like, oh, but the Christmas spirit is with us, and like for this you could say like characters are going around like the big climatic fight sequence, and then it's just like, but you will be better next year, you will cut out fizzy drinks. Something like that. Like, they didn't make a meal of it, and that was brilliant, because that basically means we just get a longer episode of Doctor Who. And that is something that I cannot complain about. This review that I tend to do tends to be just a massive jumble of points that have no chronological order at all. But I'm going to go through what I thought of the episode and where it sits in terms of my episodes and my thoughts on this series in general. So I'm going to start off with some of the turns that this took. Throughout the entire series, I talked about how the trailers really didn't give anything away, and there wasn't stuff you could take from it. The stories end up surprising you. This was nothing different. It had a couple more trailers, and there were longer trailers for this episode because it's a special, so you want to draw in the holiday audiences a bit more, because people are able to watch this stuff more. So obviously we found out it was going to be a Dalek. That wasn't made too big of a deal, but it was out, and basically everyone knew it was going to be a Dalek in this episode. But like there really wasn't much, so I was really surprised by some of the turns this episode took. With it having Ryan's dad in there, I had no idea that was going to come out, and I'll go on to it a bit later. But that kind of introduction gave us probably my favourite scene from the entire episode. You also had the Dalek using a human as a vessel to travel with, and I really enjoyed that. I noticed immediately, I didn't know this beforehand, but it's the girl who played someone or other in Fresh Meat. However, I don't know if I'm correct in this, but I'm kind of curious if the house that she lives in this episode is the same one they filmed Fresh Meat. I might be wrong, but it's quite funny. I don't know if I'm right, but it looked kind of similar, so it'd be quite a funny little joke if that was true. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. But I think she did a fantastic job. You can't tell from the trailers or from any of the promotional images that she's actually a vessel. She just looks like a character that you see, and I think the direction they took with her was really good. And they gave everyone lots to do in this episode. So they gave these one episode companions, if you like, or at least two of them out of the three are probably one episode companions. It gave them a lot to do, a lot to say, a lot of connection to the story, which is really nice, because often you see just the main characters talking over them all the time, but they really included them into the story, and it was quite tightly written, in my opinion, compared to other episodes. But you also have Graham's dad coming in, and I think he'll be coming back, obviously, but I really liked him in this episode, and I think they introduced him in the right way by having him talking to Graham for a long time, seeing how Graham's reacting to things, because Graham's kind of like that intermediary figure who can read into any situation and try his best to explain it in the most honest way he can. And this episode has just proved to me how much I love Graham. He wasn't given as much to do in this episode, which is kind of a shame. But the stuff he did do was really poignant, and like when he took Ryan's dad outside for a chat, and he was just saying, "You did not do enough." Like that was a big start of like relationship turnover, if you like, in this episode, and I really, really enjoyed that. Yaz actually had a little bit more to do in this episode. Obviously, not loads. I know that Chibnall is planning to do some big Yaz stuff in the next series. I'm pretty sure that he said that in an interview. That's like his first spoiler for the next series. But she was given a bit more to do, a bit more to say, and it felt like she kind of needed to be there. There was a lot of characters in the end roaming around the TARDIS, and it got a bit claustrophobic. So I guess like there's only so much you can do when you've got such a big cast in an episode. But I think she did all right, and she did enough. Ryan, a lot better. Like, yes, finally we have some like poignant acting. I loved Ryan in the first episode of the series, and I felt kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see more passion and stuff going forward. But the way he talks to his dad, that scene went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to, and it really worked. I thought this is really detracting from the main storyline, but it's so important because this relationship thing is mentioned throughout the entire series, just in the background, and you finally get the first major reconciliation of it. And the way he's talking, the serious emotion and passion, everything on his face. It's not just how he talks, because like speech-wise, it's very plain. It's just, this is what's happened. This is what you need to be saying. But his entire face, his emotions, his eyes, like twitches in his head. He's put a lot of emotion into his speech, and it was brilliant. And I loved it. I really, really loved it. In terms of the Dalek, I know it's kind of like going back to the human and Dalek hybrid thing from the Daleks in whatever it is, Daleks in Manhattan. I can't remember what it's called. Something like that. The one with the pigs, you know. It was kind of a go back to that, but I think they did the Dalek symbiote thing really well this time. And it dragged me in, and everything about the Daleks' transformations and stuff was really, really interesting and cool to see. I loved the like redesign. I thought at first it was going to be a redesign. That's what they're all going to look like, but it was nice that this is kind of a one-off look for the Daleks if they're ever going to come back. And it looked really cool. It did look quite homemade, if you like. So I enjoyed that vibe. At parts, I felt like it was CGI'd in rather than made as a model, and I don't know about that. I don't know if anyone else got this vibe, but sometimes the visuals on the Dalek, when it was focused in, like when it was zoomed in close and stuff, it looked like it was being animated rather than being like filmed and controlled manually, and that's kind of put me off. I don't know if that's true or not. They may have just done some smoothing of the motions and stuff post recording, but I'm hoping it was a full prop that they use for the majority of the time. Obviously, when it's flying and stuff, you've got to CGI it in, but I'm really hoping for the most part that it was an actual prop, because sometimes it did look a bit off. That's all I can say. But in terms of actual visuals for the episode, it was really cool, and it's looked great. The whole series has looked great, and this episode was no different. We got to see a lot more of the time vortex, the new time vortex, which I'm in love with. It's definitely my favourite visual of the entire series, is seeing how the TARDIS now moves through the time vortex, how it kind of screws with your brain and your sense of speed. I love it. And it was brilliant. You get to see the TARDIS in full, and you get to see multiple people reacting to the sides of the TARDIS, one after another, and it was really, really nice to get like people's different reactions. And this episode was just Doctor Who. It was typical Doctor Who. It had stakes. It had a lot of emotional gut punches like throughout the story, just dotted around, but it really didn't take itself too seriously, and it was able to have a lot of fun. The whole Doctor trying to call UNIT thing was brilliant. I'm really interested as to like who came up with the idea that Brexit has screwed over UNIT. I thought that UNIT was a multinational corporation thing, organisation. So I don't know if it's kind of going along with the law of Doctor Who that UNIT's disbanded because of Brexit. But maybe it's not disbanded, maybe it's just gotten smaller and the budget's gone down. I don't know, but it was interesting and it made me laugh. And there were a lot of laughs with the microwave and the Doctor finding the microwave. There were loads, and I can't remember them. That's the annoying thing. When you watch an hour-long episode, you forget a lot of the stuff that happens and all the little quiet nods. I love that the Doctor really wanted to talk to Kate on the phone. it's a nice little nod back. I'd love to see Kate come back because I think she's a brilliant character, and also get Osgood back as well. But it was such a good episode. Really, for a special, I was surprised that it was as enjoyable as it was, and I'm hoping that a lot of people enjoyed it because it seemed like the kind of story everyone could get behind. It was a cool idea, and like I said, it didn't take itself too seriously. It was really good fun to watch, but it had enough emotional attachment that it made you care and it made you like get invested in the characters, and it developed the characters too. You see Ryan reconciling with his dad a bit. You see Graham reconciling with Ryan's dad. You saw there was still no big conflicting stuff for the Doctor, but I'm hoping we'll get there in season 2. I'm really hoping that Chibnall looks at the feedback that people have given episodes and really tries to learn from what people want to see, because at the end of the day, if you're not making something for which people want to see, there's no point in making it. If you're making it to be seen, there's no point. So I'm really hoping he looks at that stuff. I want to see some really conflicting stuff with the Doctor, but you never know. Bring in like the Valiard or just something to really throw us off our guard. Make a real thing where you don't like the Doctor, and I think that's quite key for the next series. Is find something that the Doctor does wrong. David Tennant towards the end of his tenure was brilliant, and that was because he was a dick, and I really didn't like you like him, but you don't, because everything he says and does is so arrogant, and I really want to see that with the Doctor as well. She's just maybe a bit too fun. I don't know. But yeah, I think this episode was great, and definitely one of my favourite specials. But you guys let me know in the comments down below what you thought. Give me a like if you enjoyed my feedback. Don't dislike, just like and comment if you don't agree with me. Subscribe if you want to see more Doctor Who related content. When news comes out, I'll probably make videos on this channel too, and just give my opinions on stuff. But I've done the whole series. If you want to go back and see my opinions on each episode one by one, then feel free to do so. But until then, I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys stay safe and have had a very pleasant New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And here's to another year of waiting for the next year for Doctor Who. So stay safe, everyone. Take care.